This is an absolute fucking disgrace from this football club. I've had a fucking enough of every single player at this football club. If you can't beat Burnley, get the fuck out. And the manager is as much to blame as for this pathetic, embarrassing crap. Yet again, if you can't beat Burnley, that says a lot about this football club. Not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. It's a complete circus. It's a complete joke. And I am sick to death of every single excuse this football club comes up with. What a joke. Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you've all had a good weekend so far. Hope you've had a good Saturday. Hope you're all having a good Saturday evening. And I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of your weekend in April 2024 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Always remember to put the notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2024 on the channel, on the community for brand new Fortnite, Rocket League, EAFC, Call of Duty, Fall Guys previews, match reactions. We've got the summer transfer window covered right throughout this year in 2024. Once the football season finishes, we'll be covering Europe, the EFL, the Premier League, and much more dedicated transfer news once the summer transfer window opens. As you can tell, I have had a really, really shit weekend. I have not been feeling great all day. I've felt sluggish. I have felt ill. I feel massively under the weather. And that result at Old Trafford has not made me feel any better whatsoever. How the fuck we can beat Sheffield United, but when you can't beat Burnley, this says so fucking much about where this football club is. It's a joke. It's a circus. It's an absolute pantomime. This is an absolute disgrace. The goal that we have thrown away today is down to that pathetic, amateurish £60 million goalkeeper in Andre Onana. What the hell is this goalkeeper fucking thinking? Making a calamity out of his own fucking penalty area and giving Burnley an unlikely point at Old Trafford where they're on the verge of going straight back down to the Championship. And Onana decides to throw the lead that somehow we managed to get through Anthony. And Onana's error that has led to this Burnley equaliser to give Burnley a point. This says so much about the lack of fucking understanding of this goalkeeper, the lack of recruitment to bring in a decent goalkeeper in the first place. But I don't understand why Man United decide to play fucking pinball inside their own penalty area. What the fuck is actually going on at this football club? Why are we playing fucking pinball? We're not at the arcades. We're not at a pinball machine putting all the fucking 2p coins in. We are meant to be a football club and we're playing pinball inside our own fucking penalty area. And you've got a goalkeeper that can understand to stay inside his goal. And he comes out and makes a complete calamity of a decision making to go and absolutely thump the Burnley player right in the face and gives away a fucking stone wall penalty to give Burnley an unlikely result that I didn't see coming after Wednesday night. This today is on the goalkeeper for throwing away the lead Man United got right near the end. You get the lead in the 80th fucking minute and we give away a penalty like that. This, for me, is solely on Andre Onana for not being able to stay in his own goal. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro playing headers and volleys inside our own penalty area. And Casemiro is at much as fault as bloody Onana. He's as much at fault. Why he decides to then play it back to Onana for a late audacious header. And then Onana's absolutely clattered the Burnley player inside the penalty area. There's only one way this is fucking going. That is a stone wall Burnley penalty. And no one can complain about it. There is no issues about that result. There are no issues about where Man United have thrown this game away because it is right clear in black and fucking white. United are not capable of beating B-Tech Championship clubs like Burnley, who should not be in the fucking Premier League. I am getting sick to death of these players throwing away results time and time and time and time again. And again, it's not just on the players, it's on the fucking manager as well. When you've got a manager who has got no balls, no guts to actually make big decisions to change this team up, change the lineup, change the team selection, and change a goalkeeper that lets shot after shot in, goal after goal. And he clearly has got no fucking balls to change the goalkeeper. 60 fucking million we paid for Andre Onana to get him from Inter Milan. 60 fucking million. A goalkeeper that was brought in to change the style of play that Erik ten Hag wanted to bring in at Manchester United Football Club. That goalkeeper is absolutely trash. The amount of shots we have faced this season is unbearable. The amount of goals we've conceded this season is unbearable. But when you've got a goalkeeper throwing away a hard-fought 3 points that did not look like coming until Anthony decides to find the back of the net on the 80th minute, and then for a goalkeeper to basically throw that away right in front of you, it says a lot about this goalkeeper has not got a fucking clue. 60 million from Inter Milan. We paid for this goalkeeper. We let David De Gea go. We let David De Gea go in the summer on a free transfer. Please, someone at Manchester United, get David De Gea back on the phone and bring this goalkeeper back, because he would not be making these mistakes if David De Gea was still in goal for Manchester United. Yes, he made mistakes and he made errors last season, but you don't see a goalkeeper trying to be a fucking kangaroo or trying to jump on a trampoline like Andre Onana has clearly demonstrated in that fucking pathetic decision to clatter that Burnley player in your own penalty area. I don't know what he's fucking thinking. I don't know what's going on in his mind, but what makes him have the right to go and do that? Wan-Bissaka had that covered. He's got Wan-Bissaka and Casemiro both in front of him. Casemiro really should have decided to head the ball out of our penalty area instead of heading it back to our goalkeeper. And our goalkeeper has got Aaron Wan-Bissaka right in front of him, who had that decision-making clear. He knew what to do. And Onana, to clatter that Burnley player the way he has, is absolutely on him. This is a disgrace. This is a fucking joke that a goalkeeper we thought was the answers to keep clean sheets, a goalkeeper who we thought we could build a future around, a goalkeeper that's got more hype than the fucking island of Sodor. This is unbelievably shit goalkeeping from a goalkeeper who cannot make certain decisions correctly. Why would you go and clatter that Burnley player knowing you are likely to go and give a penalty away? What is he fucking thinking? Enough is enough of this bang average mid-table goalkeeper that is not fit enough to represent this football club. Onana should have never been signed. It is absolutely lack of recruitment, a lack of strategic planning, and a lack of any idea what type of goalkeeper this football club was crying out for. Onana should have never been signed. 60 million wasted on crap. Wasted on crap. A goalkeeper that would not make an EFL team. That is how bad I rate this goalkeeper. This is not acceptable. This is a disgrace. Burnley are second bottom of the Premier League. Second fucking bottom. They're on the verge of getting relegated. They're on the verge of going straight back down to the Championship where that mid-table team belong. A team that have been in that bottom three all season long. If you can beat Sheffield United, there is no excuses for Manchester United not to beat Burnley. That manager has also got a lot of responsibility to claim for this result. When you can't beat Burnley, the alarm bells are ringing. And tonight, that alarm bell is going to be ringing in Eric Ten Hag's head like a ringtone that won't stop ringing on your mobile phone, and you're getting call after call after call after call after call. This manager has clearly got no fucking idea how to change this team up, what certain decisions need to be made to make this team better. This manager is making ludicrous, unacceptable decisions halfway through a Burnley game that you are completely dominating through the amount of chances that you are creating on the Burnley goal. And Eric Ten Hag idiotically decides to completely throw any kind of win, any kind of result out the window because of two certain players that were taken off who are the spine to Man United team going forward. And Eric Ten Hag idiotically decides to make those changes and fucks everything up. The momentum goes, the optimism goes, the confidence goes. United have absolutely fucking screwed up yet again. That is down today, down to the changing of the guard. That is down to the manager, and it's down yet again to these bang average mid-table players that don't give a fuck. And they clearly show today they do not care. They don't give one fuck about where this club is trying to go. And again, Eric Ten Hag is responsible for sanctioning half these players to be brought to this football club. And quite clearly, it hasn't worked, has it? We have wasted money on crap that we all thought would take the Premier League by storm. We have wasted money on players that are simply not fucking good enough. But when you're playing a club like Burnley that do concede a shitload of goals, have been in that bottom three all season long, are on the verge of being relegated. If Manchester United cannot beat a relegation threatened team, then its responsibility is on the manager. I think Eric Ten Hag today has completely, utterly lost the fucking plot. Why certain players were allowed to be substituted, I do not know what is going on inside Eric Ten Hag's head. I don't know what is going on tactically. I do not know what this manager is thinking. We are trying to build a youthful attacking team for the future. We've got a manager who has come out and said yesterday, Manchester United will not be contenders for the Premier League title next season. I could tell him that. It's not fucking rocket science. I ain't stupid. Even I knew Man United would not be in a Premier League title race next season. I mean, saying that a day before a game and basically writing off any chance of Man United being successful in the Premier League next season. What do you think that's doing to those players? What do you think that's doing to the morale? What do you think that's doing to the confidence and the positivity from the win on Wednesday night? You've basically slammed the players, criticised, everything that's going on, but you're responsible to getting this team playing and the team aren't producing. And that is down to Eric Ten Hag's audacious team selections, his clear favouritism of certain individuals, and a team that's got no chemistry, a team that's got no dynamic about it. That team is luckily we've even got a point, because you also look at the way Burnley turned up for that second half. Were absolutely, at times, outplaying us. The amount of chances they had on our goal. We have seen this all season long. The amount of chances the opposition get on the Manchester United goal. And it is shot after shot, chance after chance. And Man United can't stop it. Man United cannot prevent those attacks. And Man United are just carrying on playing the same style of football, the same system, the same formation. We are not changing anything up because his manager has clearly got no balls to change anything. He's stuck in his old ways. He's stuck up there, really stuck. And if he hasn't got no guts to change anything, then we need a manager that needs to fucking come in and clear this lot out. Because where this has gone wrong, and I think for me, the whole game was sacrificed. The substitutions of Kobe Mainu and Rasmus Højlund, what the fuck is going on there? You have subbed off your two players that are youthful, attacking, and basically are carrying this team game after game, week after week. Both brought off in that second half, and you could tell by the crowd reaction that substitution was booed. And you can tell the fans and the supporters are fucking fed up. You can tell the frustration, the anger, and the pure anxiety and agony that Erik ten Hag is causing this Man United fan base. He's tearing the supporters apart. He's tearing the fans apart. I just don't understand why you sacrifice your two best youthful players who are the future for this football club, and to take them off with no recognised striker. You've taken off Mainu for fucking McTominay, where Ericsson yet again has seen 90 minutes when he's been fucking shite yet again. And you've kept on using Casemiro at centre-back next to Harry Maguire. Has that paid off? Well, quite clearly it hasn't, has it? Because Casemiro should know better by making a clearance outside of the box instead of heading it back high in the air to Onana in the first place. But you should also expect the goalkeeper not to go and clatter the opposition player in your own penalty area. That is naive goalkeeping. That is a lack of understanding of the game. That's a clear acknowledgement that you don't know how to play football. If you've got a goalkeeper who is going to clatter players left, right, and centre and throw penalty and penalty away all the time, how are Manchester United ever meant to keep a clean sheet? How are Manchester United ever going to stop conceding these shots? How are Manchester United meant to move forward if this goalkeeper is going to carry on making the same mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake? And the problem is, just because he saved a few Coventry penalties in that FA Cup semi-final, all of a sudden, Onana's back. Onana's a great goalkeeper. Onana's getting Man United out of jail. We're basically playing Monopoly. Get the out of jail free card. This is the fucking problem. I can't understand why Ten Hag will not change things up. And I've lost patience with this manager. I want this club to move forward and be successful. But I can't back a manager that has got no guts, no balls, and no plans to change anything up. The clear favouritism is clear to the naked eye. He doesn't want to use McTominay. He doesn't want to use Ahmad. He doesn't want to use Amrabat. There are certain players that he doesn't rate. Some of these players were brought in under this manager. Have these players worked? Why, quite clearly not. It has been a pure lack of frustration yet again at Old Trafford this evening. If you can't beat Burnley, there have got to be serious question marks about where we are going under Erik ten Hag. If he has got no guts to change anything, he is part of the problem, as well as Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, and the Glazers. I feel sorry for the whole fans and supporters that had to witness that draw. If you can't beat Burnley, there is something majorly going wrong. If you can beat Sheffield United but can't beat Burnley, this should have been 6 points from 6, not 4 points from 6. We should have had the win today. We should have had this game wrapped up. We should have had the result today. We should have had another win. We should have back-to-back Premier League wins. But when you've got incompetent decision-making from a set of players that don't give a fuck, United are going to get nowhere. And these players quite clearly have shown to me today that if you're not going to give a fuck, then get the fuck out of this football club. Because at the end of the day, we are going to be here with or without you at the end of the day. You players aren't good enough. You're not showing up. You're not stepping up to the plate. You're not setting the standards. You're throwing your toys out the pram all the time. You're calling the manager out. You're calling out his tactics. You're calling out his decision-making. The problem is you players don't want to listen. These players are afraid to listen. These players do not like criticism. And then certain players, a.k.a. Marcus Rashford, is basically calling out the fans. He's calling out the supporters. You've got no right to hate me. You've got no right to criticise me. You've got no right calling me this. You've got no right calling me that. I don't give a fuck what Marcus Rashford thinks at the end of the day. That is a spoiled little baby who's got no DNA, no fucking attitude, and basically acts like a 5-year-old baby at preschool. It is embarrassing that you've got players who are fed up of being criticised, are fed up of being hated on, are fed up of, oh, well, you've got no right to judge my commitment. You've got no right to judge me as a player on and off the pitch. I have a life. I can do what the fuck I want. At the end of the day, you are a professional footballer playing for fucking Manchester United Football Club, and you're telling us we've got no right to criticise you, no right to call you out, basically let you get away with shit performances. That performance today summed up that we don't need that arrogant little baby in this fucking team. We don't need Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. If he doesn't want to be here, fuck off. Because at the end of the day, you're not committed, you're not loyal, you don't turn up to the plate, you cost Man United, you think you're Mbappe, you are nowhere near Mbappe's level, you are basically a B-Tech Jamie Vardy. You ain't no good, mate. And at the end of the day, we don't need you in this team because that lineup today is better without you. We have better options, better attacking quality. And when you try and do everything on your own and try and be a world beater and turn into prime Mbappe, we don't get anywhere. Because when you try and do everything on your own, you screw up. So Marcus Rashford really has got no right calling everyone out. How dare he go at the fans? How dare he go at the supporters? Again, this is part of the problem. Erik ten Hag has basically said Marcus Rashford deserves the criticism. Absolutely agree with him. He ain't been good enough. He hasn't turned up this season. That season last season was a complete one-off. And then Marcus Rashford's gone back to being the most lazy, fragile individual I've ever seen play for Man United at this football club. I do not want him here. But when you've got players unavailable, everyone comes up with, well, we've got injuries, we've got injuries, we've got injuries. That is all I hear out of Erik ten Hag's mouth. We've got injuries, we've got injuries, we've got injuries. I don't give a fuck if you've got injuries or not. The players that you have got available should still be good enough to beat Burnley. If you can't beat Burnley, who are not even nowhere near your level, then there's a fucking problem. Your players today aren't good enough, mate. You take off our two best players in Mainu and Højlund, who have worked their fucking ass off all game long. We've then gone with no recognised striker and you're playing Ahmad down the middle. You keep Anthony on the right, Garnacho on the left. You needed to sacrifice one of those wingers to make something happen. And unfortunately, when you play with no recognised striker and no number 9, how are Man United meant to score goals? How are we meant to find the back of the net? Because we've got no backup striker. I hope everyone is starting to hit the nail on the head here. We have got no backup striker. Martial, injury pro. Marcus Rashford, lazy, incompetent, bad attitude. A big problem for this football club. Not in the squad because he's still injured, or more like he's going out clubbing again and getting drunk and trying to get laid by 1,000 women. At the end of the day, if Man United want to succeed and move forward as a club, you need to start getting players in that we are going to help build the squad around. Because when you sacrifice Højlund, did anyone recognise what we were trying to do with that substitution? Why did we bring off Højlund for Ahmad? If anyone should have came off, it should have been Garnacho, in my view, for Ahmad, and Ahmad should have been kept on, and Højlund should not have been substituted. Why Erik ten Hag decided to do that today, I have got absolutely no idea what he's thinking. He is our best threat going forward. He's the best striker this club has seen since Robin van Persie, and you've taken him off and then gone with, we're going to play a false 9. We don't need a striker down the middle. Is that a sign to the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe saying, get me a striker? Or is that clearly showing the fucking naivety of this manager? I'm afraid to say, if Erik ten Hag is making bad decisions on the pitch, he should not be in charge of this football club. He's making bad decision after bad decision. Højlund did nothing wrong today, in my view. He did nothing fucking wrong. He didn't have his best game. But at the end of the day, if you want to score goals, there's a striker that can put the ball in the net. He fucking scored on Wednesday night and he's taken him off for what? I just don't understand why it was either Garnacho or Anthony that was sacrificed. I just don't get what Erik ten Hag carries on making the same mistakes. Is he trying to get himself sacked? Is he trying to get out this football club? What is his manager trying to do long term? What's the vision? What's the plan? What's the style of play? What are we trying to do on the pitch? What are we trying to do off the pitch? Because I just don't recognise the charisma and the attitude and the desire this manager had last season. I do not recognise this manager. This was meant to be it. This manager was meant to be the fix. This manager was meant to be the problems that we all needed help with. And Man United have basically, they've screwed him up. They've not backed him in the last 2 transfer windows and basically told him to get on with it. A, that ain't going to help the manager. But B, there are still players that can get the job done. But those players aren't good enough, Eric. And the problem is, if you keep giving these players a chance, they are going to fucking let you down game after game after game. And you've got no balls to call these players out. You've got no desire to change things up. Your favoritism is costing your job because your players that you favoritize with and have fantasies over, you are giving them a lifeline. They've got more lives than a cat. And the more chances they get, the more chance they're still going to be at Man United next season. Those players today have let everyone down because they have made mistakes at the most important stage of the game. We're on the 87th, 88th minute and we give that penalty away. The whole game's gone. There was no game plan. There was no what do we do on and off the ball. I did not recognise what we were trying to do today. That was my whole view and opinion on the game. I do not know what we are trying to do as a football club on and off the pitch. I don't know who we are. I don't recognise anything because this club is so fucking incompetent at being able to perform on the big stage. At Old Trafford, we shit ourselves. We basically shit the bed. We have the runs. It runs down your legs and your ass crack stinks. And that is how it sums up Man United. We absolutely stink of pure fucking incompetence on the pitch. Those players today, if you don't want to change your team up, they get so used to their standards. They get so used to their incompetence. And if you keep those same core players together and you don't change anything, they are more likely not going to be able to deliver consistent performances. We are too inconsistent. This team does not step up. These players knew back-to-back wins was necessary. Back-to-back wins should have happened. But because we make mistakes and we basically sacrifice our best players and bring on players like McTominay and Ahmad, where are we going? Ahmad, again, I feel sorry for the lad. He doesn't get a chance under this manager. He only gets brought on when we are desperately trying to find a breakthrough, when we're trying to find a goal. That's the only time Ahmad gets any game time whatsoever. This guy should be starting for Man United on that right wing. And I know people are going to say, well, at least Anthony got the goal. But that's the first goal in so many games. Yeah, I know. That's his first goal in like how many games? And Ahmad is only declined to the bench for every single game. Ahmad is glued to that bench. Erik ten Hag does not believe in him. Quite clearly, he doesn't rate Ahmad. He doesn't want him at this club. He doesn't think he's the answer on that right wing. Because we've spent so much money on Anthony, who has been an £85 million flop. But you look at the quality that Ahmad is being able to do for a right winger that none of those other wingers have got any balls to do. Ahmad brings a different dimension to this team. He brings a different attacking style, a different style of play. He makes stuff happen on that right wing. But when you don't give him a chance and he's glued to that bench, how are Man United ever meant to be creative going forward when we've got aging, overrated bollocks playing in that team? I know Højlund was taken off, but that, again, because he was starved of any fucking service from our wingers. Again, that's down to Garnacho and it's down to Anthony, who starve our strikers of so many chances that Højlund can't find the back of the net on a consistent basis. I'm not blaming this on Højlund. Yes, I know he didn't have his best game, but at the end of the day, if he can't score any goals, there is a lack of service being provided, not just through the attack, but also in the midfield. We play the ball back way too much and try and build from the back. I don't understand why we play this part the bus football and then break the opposition on the counter-attack. I don't understand what Erik ten Hag is carrying on, sticking with the same excuses, the same bollocks, the same PR to basically keep this guy in a job. We were meant to be moving forward under Erik ten Hag. We are going 10 times back. And I want to back the manager. I don't want Erik ten Hag to go. But I can't back a manager that is too incompetent to make things happen in a different way. United have got players that can do a job. But when you're basically not changing the team up and freshening everything up, why is Erik ten Hag still in charge? I mean, again today, Ericsson, who is not a CDM, is being deployed at CDM and had an absolute atrocious second half. Absolutely atrocious. And he played 96 fucking minutes when he's not a CDM. If anyone should have come off in that second half, it should have been Eriksen. It should have got Casemiro back at CDM to support Maino and Fernandes. Take Eriksen off and bring McTominay on and stick him next to Maguire, even though he ain't a centre-back. And then if any changes to the front three should have happened, it should have been Garnacho Anthony for Ahmad. Don't go and sub off your main striker and your main threat on goal down the middle in the number 9 position. When we don't have a number 9, do you wonder why we don't score goals? It's because Højlund, I mean, when the crowd booed, that for me, that was it. That sums up Erik ten Hag. He ain't got a clue. This manager has not got a clue what to do. He's absolutely naive. He's absolutely in complete fucking denial because he's clearly got no understanding where this football club is trying to go. I honestly don't understand. What is he trying to do to us? Is he trying to get us relegated? Is he trying to make us fail? Or is he just completely incompetent of being able to take this club forward? That, for me, sums up this manager. He hasn't got a clue. He has not got a clue. If Erik ten Hag doesn't want to be here, get out the club. Because today, your changes, your substitutions, and your tactics, we battered Burnley in both halves of that game. If I'm being really honest, we were the better team. We were the better force going forward. But when Man United do not take their chances and don't convert their conversion rate and put the ball into the back of the net, you wonder why. Because we've got selfish wingers. We've got a striker who's our only hope going forward because we've got no Martial, we've got no Rashford. You've got Mainu. I mean, that is a joke as well. 18-year-old Kobe Mainu, who's been United's standout midfielder all season long, has been brought off for Scott McTominay. Sum that up for me in a sentence. You've taken Mainu off for Scott McTominay. So you've basically brought on McTominay to do what? To do what? If anyone should have gone off, it should have been Eriksen. Atrocious, not just in the first half, but the second half as well. He doesn't even want to be here, Christian Eriksen. He wants to go. Well, he can fuck off then, because you ain't good enough, mate. The pace is gone. The levels of quality have completely disappeared. Eriksen was so good last season, but the decline of him this season, he's absolutely fallen off a cliff. And again, maybe Erik ten Hag has got a fascination with Christian Eriksen. I mean, how many more players is he going to have a fantasy about? Because at the end of the day, I could write a book. I could write an autobiography that Erik ten Hag is in love with these players, and he fantasizes about them. I honestly do think that he's got some clear fascination about keeping certain individuals in this team that he knows ain't good enough. Is he trying to send a message, or is he basically saying, well, I've got better options. I don't need Mason Mount. I don't need Amrabat, who are both Erik ten Hag signings, and he's gone with Eriksen, who should have been substituted. I'm sorry, but that is on Erik ten Hag. Mainu should have been kept on. He was making that midfield balanced. He was making that midfield happen. He was making things happen in both halves of the game. And you've taken him off, and the whole midfield dot goes on its knees. It's just not acceptable, Eric. Like, you've got a midfielder who is running his heart out for this club, who is putting everyone on hope that we are finally getting somewhere. And you've taken him off McTominay. What happens a few minutes later? McTominay goes off with a bad knee injury. Brilliant substitution. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, the absolute denial of this manager is clear in the weeds, isn't it? This manager's lost it. He's absolutely gone. This manager has got to go because certain individuals should not be playing for Manchester United. It's a complete disgrace. It's a complete farce. I'm really sorry. The football is ass. There is no style of play. Park the bus, break on the counter-attack. Park the bus, break on the counter-attack. I'm seeing this every fucking game, and it is driving me nuts that he's got no audacious charisma in his tactical promise to make things happen in a different dimension to get this club performing. The whole game was lost on those two substitutions, and the crowd reacted in the right way. And I applaud them. I absolutely applaud those United fans today because That booing has summed up Eric Ten Hag's second season. It has been a fucking car crash. Absolute car crash. He ain't good enough. And quite clearly, a change has got to be made sooner rather than later, because I can't carry on like this. I can't keep doing this because it's not fair. The mental health and anxiety this is causing me on every fucking level. It is destroying the love I had for this club. This love is dying, and it's dying quickly, and it's dying at a quick pace. I can't carry on backing a manager that's got no fucking idea how to get the best out of these players, because they're clearly not backing him. They're clearly throwing the manager under the bus, and they're clearly not listening. These players are probably thinking, well, you know, we've won a trophy last season, got top four, got Champions League football. Why do we need to go ahead in season 2? Well, what do you think? We are trying to progress, move forward as a club, play better football, and win more trophies. These players have not got it in them. I'm really, really sorry. These players have not got it in them. I'm really sorry to say. He's afraid to change the back four. He's too pussy to change the midfield. And as for that attack, he loves Anthony, he loves Garnacho, and he loves Højlund. Did anyone really think Eric Ten Hag was going to make changes to that team? Because I didn't see any changes. Mount is back from injury today, right? We bring on Mason Mount for an injured Scott McTominay. So we basically wasted a sub with McTominay when you could have brought on Mount instead. You could have put Casemiro back at CDM. You could have put Mount next to Maguire or McTominay. You could have brought Ahmad off for Garnacho and got Ahmad on the left. But no, he wants to stick with the same core group of players. He doesn't want to change things up. It's because he knows that I think he's a goner. Maybe Eric Ten Hag knows the future's already up. Maybe Eric Ten Hag knows that he ain't got long left here. Maybe he knows, well, I'm doing what I can, but the players I've got ain't good enough. But half these players, mate, were signed under your management. And you're playing them out of position, and I'm fucking sick of it. Don't keep telling me you've got injuries. Don't keep telling me we've got no options. Don't keep telling me I can't really do anything. Because you can. You're just trying to cover up your face. You're trying to cover up your incompetence of making things happen. Man United are not going to go forward with this manager. I just cannot see it. Because this manager has totally lost the plot. I'm afraid today, this is the end of me and Eric Ten Hag. This relationship is dead in the water. I cannot back this manager. I can't understand his decision-making. I can't understand what we're trying to do as a football club. I can't understand how we are trying to move forward. Because it's the same old football, the same old style of play, and it's the same team selection every fucking game, where we have got options. We have got options off the bench. But Eric Ten Hag is too scared to do it. We've got youngsters who have given their all for their under-18s who have won the Premier League Cup. And he doesn't want to get them integrated into the first team. It's just shocking management. It is shocking management from a manager that I think, for me, has got to go. That result today has screwed everything up. We should have beat Burnley. There is no excuses. But it's the errors from the back four. It's the errors from the attack. It's the errors from the midfield where you're playing a complete imbalanced back four. You've got a midfield whose only hope is Mainu. And the only attacking threat, really, for the whole game today was the goal scoring Anthony. Because I didn't see anything from Rasmus. I didn't see anything from Garnacho. The back four, when you've got a crap Delo, a shite Aaron Wan-Bissaka, an aging Casemiro, and an incompetent Harry Maguire, how are we meant to move forward? I see people saying Maguire is our best centre-back at the club. I mean, I don't know what you're watching. He's the best centre-back this club's had this season. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Don't bullshit me. He's the best centre-back we've got. I mean, are you having a laugh? Have you seen how many defensive mistakes he makes? Do you see how many times that back four was opened up in that second half against Burnley today? Because it's not great defending. You are splitting this team back four wide open more than the Christmas turkey, carving it on the table. They split us wide open and then they pounce on us. And I think Burnley are going to be absolutely thrilled with a point. And in the end, it's a fair result. I don't think Man United overall deserved to win. I don't think, for me, we deserved any points from this because Burnley, fair play to them, have got an unlikely result. But it's down to the goalkeeper. This, for me, is on the goalkeeper. Fully responsibly today, this is on the goalkeeper, where we've got a better goalkeeper on the bench in Bandia, and a manager that has made two massive, massive errors of substitutions today. McTominay should not have got used. It should have been Mount and Ahmad. Even Amrabat could have came on. Oh, no, we're not doing that. But you wanted Amrabat, and you're not using the guy. He only comes on for a little second half cameo. For Eriksen, he finally had the balls to get Eriksen off. But the problem is, it was too little, too fucking late. Bringing off Eriksen at that period of time was a massive, massive mistake because he should have been brought off sooner rather than later. Eriksen cannot do it at CDM. He's a centre attacking midfielder, but Eriksen keeps getting deployed at CDM. I don't know why Erik ten Hag does it. I don't get why he does it, because if you play players out of position, you're expecting them to be an absolute whirlwind. You're expecting them to be a magician and make some magic happen. But when you play them in position and it's happening every fucking game, how are you expecting quality football? How are you expecting Man United to score goals? How are you expecting us to create great attacking opportunities on the opposition? How are you expecting Man United to bury teams like Burnley at home? It is embarrassing to let them come to Old Trafford and get a point. We beat them in the reverse fixture. We should have done the double. But when you can't beat Burnley at home, when you are meant to be making Old Trafford a fortress, everyone needs to fear us. Everyone needs to start fearing Man United again. We're back, we're back, we're back. No, we're not back. We ain't getting back anytime soon. We are going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And that today sums up Manchester United in a nutshell. We are too inconsistent. We are not consistent enough. We're too inconsistent. We don't score goals. We don't create enough attacking opportunities. We don't play good football. We park the bus and we counter-attack. It's the same old story, same old Manchester United. Things are not going to move forward under Erik ten Hag. I think for me today, this is sackable. For me today, I am officially done with Erik ten Hag, because at the end of the day, when you've got a manager that is in complete denial of his own tactics, his own team selection, and the options off the bench, and he makes certain decisions in certain periods of time in the game, which absolutely backfire and doesn't work, then that is on Erik ten Hag, because he doesn't want to change this team. He doesn't want to use Bandia. He doesn't want to use Mount. He doesn't want to use Amrabat. He doesn't want to use Ahmad, who are technically better players than half that team that played today. That team should have been good enough to bury Burnley. Burnley were there for the taking. They were so wide open. The amount of chances we had through on their goal that we can't take. We've got a striker who's trying his best but can't do it on his own. We've got a midfielder in Mainu who wants to sign a new contract. And after today, if I was Kobe Mainu, I would be looking elsewhere, because to save your career and to get you being a successful footballer, don't stay at an incompetent club like Man United. Don't sign that new contract. Don't put pen to paper. Get out of Man United as quick as you can, because they are going to destroy Kobe Mainu. They're going to destroy any success and any trophies that guy has got on his mind at winning at Man United, because we are not on the level. We won't be good enough. We won't be ever near that level with a complete incompetent manager, a complete lack of tactics or any idea what we're trying to do on and off the ball. And we've got players that are not good enough. We've got a bunch of players on that bench who should be in the first team. They don't get given a chance. They don't get given any game time, and they're basically left to rot. This is the beginning of the end for Erik ten Hag. Don't be surprised if a decision's made now before the FA Cup final, because even my parents have said to me, do you know what? Don't be surprised if Man United make a shock announcement and sack ten Hag before the FA Cup final, because we're not winning the FA Cup playing like that. We ain't winning fucking nothing this season. It's going to be one trophy in 7 fucking years. Imagine if someone saying that to you. This season is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a car crash. And then someone tells you, do you realise you can only win one trophy in 7 years? It doesn't surprise me because, that it's the fans and the supporters that suffer the most. If I was a United fan and I went to watch that and I seen Onana do that, he deserves the criticism. He deserves to get absolutely crucified. I mean, who the fuck does he think he is? He ain't Tigger from the 108 quid. He ain't a fucking kangaroo. He's not even a trampoline. He should not have made that mistake when you had your centre-backs covering that situation on the United goal. But Onana idiotically decides, I'm going to do it fucking anyway. I wouldn't pay £6 for him, not fucking 60 million. 60 million down the drain, Onana fucks up again. Because that is what's happened here. We have spent 60 million on a goalkeeper. That is shocking. Concedes goal after goal, shot after shot, and then throws the Burnley result away. It's just unacceptable. I'm sick and tired of it. If these players carry on playing for this club and they make the same mistakes, then this club is just going to go on a downward spiral right near to the bottom of the Premier League. Because that is how I see us going. I would rather get relegated than play like this. I'd rather us go down to the Championship and fucking play like this in the Prem. We don't deserve to be a Premier League club. We don't. We're shit. We are an embarrassment on all sections of Manchester United Football Club. We are just a joke. We are laughable. We're a laughing stock. We're an embarrassment again. And we deserve to get bantered because we are too incompetent. We make bad decisions. We don't do things properly. We don't run as a football club properly off the pitch. But when on the pitch is even worse, no wonder United are a mess. It's just embarrassing. It's sick. It makes you want to throw up. And as a boy who's grown up to love this club as much as I have, and the love is getting sucked out of me every fucking week because of this incompetent shits who can't do their job properly. Is anyone surprised why Man United is still existing? Because at the end of the day, if, we don't win the FA Cup and we bring in a manager like Southgate, then I'm afraid I'm done because I ain't going to keep doing it. I would rather go and support a fucking Championship club than carry on suffering at the hands of this because it's just not fair. It's not good for mental health. It's not good for people with anxiety that support this club and love this team. But when they aren't performing and they're not performing on the pitch, and you've got a manager who's a complete idiotic, bold BTEC, then I'm afraid to say, expect this to get even worse because that is how I see things. I am expecting this situation to get even worse in the next few weeks. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think the situation we are in now, we are on boiling point. We are on a critical point now where this could car crash, deep dive, like a nosedive, like an airplane. We could nosedive now. This result has basically screwed up any chance of European football. Based on facts alone, yeah, I know. Based on facts alone, we don't deserve to be in Europe next season. We don't deserve to be in the Champions League. We don't deserve to be in the Europa League. And you know what? Truth be told, we don't even deserve to be in the fucking Europa Conference League playing like this. Because we would get laughed, we would get destroyed. We would get absolutely torn apart by clubs in Europe. Because we simply ain't good enough. We ain't good enough to perform. We ain't good enough to make the standards. This club is on its knees because you can't beat clubs like Burnley. And that, again, is down to the lack of tactics and a lack of tactical awareness that we've got a manager here that I think, for me, is done. I can't see Eric Ten Hag surviving much longer. I think, for me, he's done. I can't back him anymore. I can't give him the support that I want to be able to give him because I've just lost faith. The love for Man United's dying. And I think, do you know what? If we don't win the FA Cup, and like I said, we don't get European football and they bring in Southgate, United can do one because I ain't going to do it anymore. I ain't going to do it. I'm going to put my foot firmly down on the floor and I'm going to put my foot down and say, do you know what? Fuck this. Because this is going to carry on season after season. We are going to see more results like this next season. Things aren't going to change. It's going to get worse. And people think, well, give it chance. I ain't waiting 3 or 4 more years for this. I would rather go and support a really well-run football club than watch these bunch of individual babies who don't give a fuck about this football club, who don't perform when they pull that shirt on, don't play for the badge, don't play for the shirt, don't play for the fans, don't play for supporters. They only play for themselves. It is individual FC at this football club. Everyone is in it for themselves. They don't want to play as a team. They don't want to play as a unit. They don't want to play as a squad. When you've got all that, how are you expecting this club to move anywhere? We are going to get firmly stuck in the mud. They might as well, all these players, get back to school and play stuck in the fucking mud in the playground, because we have got stuck today because of fucking Onana's mistake to gift Burnley an unlikely point for a stupid, pathetic B-Tech error because of a goalkeeper that can't do his job. Fancy trying to turn into Tigger. Fancy trying to turn into a kangaroo. We are not an air hop. We're not a trampoline. We're not a theme park. We're not Noah's Ark farm. We are trying to keep clean sheets. And a goalkeeper that does this to you? Nah. That is why we've lost the win. That is why we've lost the result. This is why we've only got a point, because of his fucking mistake. And Eric Ten Hag has got no choice now to get this goalkeeper out. Get Onana out of Man United Football Club and sell him. He ain't fucking good enough, mate. Send him back to Inter Milan and go and get De Gea back. I would rather now play the kids and play the youth now right till the end of the season. Fuck this lot and get these youth players in who are actually going to fight. Because I am sick to death of these players letting me down time and time again. If you can't beat Burnley, the whole club needs to change from top to bottom. Everything. So, yeah. Player of the match goes to the fans and supporters for witnessing that shit. So, I enjoyed it. Hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to always remember the notification bell. Put the bell on at all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of this year in 2024. We've got brand new Fortnite, Rocket League, EAFC, Fall Guys, Formula 124, Call of Duty. We've got previews, match reactions. We've got the summer transfer window covered right throughout this year in 2024 as well, across Europe, the EFL, the Premier League. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season, because if we don't win the FA Cup and we bring in Southgate, I am no longer going to be supporting this club. I'm going to go and support someone better and get back to having a better life. Even though I've got a better life thanks to this amazing girl that's come into my life, which I'm really happy with. I'm in love with. I'm really happy. But yeah, enjoy your weekend. The next preview will be Thursday morning again for the Palace game. But yeah, Man United won, Burnley won thanks to Onana's error.